In this video, we'll have a look at the features included in the 6th release of Inventory Alpha. In this update, we introduce our long-awaited ELN inventory integration. You can now add lists of materials to ELN document fields, enabling you to easily associate inventory items with the experiments they are used in, as well as update the quantities of items as you use them up from within the ELN. This tight integration between the ELN and inventory enhances traceability and reproducibility of your work. Let's have a look at this feature in action. When editing an ELN document, each field now has an inventory button. You can click on it to add a list of materials to that field, and you can add several lists to the same field. You can give the list a recognizable name and description, as well as add items from inventory to the list by clicking on Add Items. The inventory picker opens up. Searching and selecting work exactly the same way as they do with an inventory. You can toggle between samples, subsamples, and containers. You can also search for specific items, or use the advanced search to narrow down your selection even further, for example, by searching for all items owned by a specific user, a new feature in this release. Once you have made a selection, you can click on Choose to add the items to the list. We can see that the items have been added to the list, and their entries include essential information, such as name, consumed quantity and inventory quantity, location, global ID, and owner. Note that the info icon can be hovered over to obtain additional information, and most of the fields are clickable. For example, clicking on the global ID will conveniently open the item inside of inventory in a new tab. Let's save the list to confirm its creation. We can see that the inventory button now has a number to indicate how many lists of materials are associated with it. Let's open the list again. We can add more items if we want, or use the cross to remove items from the list. We can use the Delete List button to delete the list entirely. Let's imagine now that we have been using up some of the subsamples as part of this experiment. We want to keep a record of how much we've consumed of each item and keep an eye out on how much we have left. We can do so incredibly easily, simply by clicking on the consumed quantity entry of a specific subsample. This will slide in an options panel. We can edit the total consumed quantity of an item from there and choose whether we want to update the remaining inventory quantity as well. After clicking Done, we can see the updated quantities in our table and see that the inventory quantity has been automatically calculated and updated. The quantity of the item when viewed in inventory has also been automatically updated to this inventory quantity value. In the case where there's a discrepancy between inventory and the real world, and the inventory quantity that is recorded is incorrect, you can uncheck Update Inventory Quantity to enable you to set the consumed quantity to any value you wish to keep your experimental record accurate. You can then edit the remaining inventory quantity manually by clicking on the item's global ID to access it in inventory and edit its quantity from there. Finally, we've made it easy to include lists of materials in print or PDF versions of your experiments. Simply use the print icon to open the print dialog for the document. The resulting document will automatically have the lists of materials appended to relevant fields. You can also print or download a PDF of a list on its own. Just click on the View in New Window icon when viewing a list, then click on the print icon. That's it for this release of inventory. To see the other updates we've made in this release, as well as browse detailed documentation on the ELN integration, or try it out yourself, we've included a link to the Inventory Hub and roadmap in the description below. Thank you for watching, and until next time.